Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany. I am so happy you are joining today for another episode. This one is a bit of a fun one and something I thought I would put together to kind of just mark the new month and this new holiday season that we're going through. If you listened to my previous episode, I did a full gift guide for you. And this included gifts for all of the biohackers out there, all of the wellness lovers, all the wellness girlies, self-care people, health enthusiasts, everything like that. So there's 16 different gifts that I included, and these are some of my favorite products that I currently use and love to use. So definitely go check that out. In the show notes and also on my website, you'll find all the discount codes there if you want to buy any of them. Most of those discount codes actually give you, I think, like more of a discount than a lot of the other codes that you could use. So definitely check that out. And also, like, they are not just for the holidays. You can kind of use them at any time. So I just actually made a Instagram post about that and told people to save it so that they could use it in the future. Instagram is so funny lately. I feel like everything I put on Instagram just does terribly. I don't know if I'm the only person who feels like this, but there's something in the last few weeks that is like remarkably worse than how it was before. And it's honestly so discouraging. So if you are a creator or you put out content that supports your business and it's not doing well, I am there with you. Honestly, it's so discouraging that now I'm at a point where do I continue to post on Instagram in order to try to improve engagement and like post more? Or do I just like post less and just boost all my posts? I don't know. It's just really frustrating. And I'm slowly like transitioning to TikTok being my main platform. So a part of that is honestly because the content on Instagram doesn't perform well as it once did. Like, this is such a side tangent, but I remember when I was first starting out on Instagram a few years ago, even a couple years ago, like during 2020, 2021, I had a fraction of the followers I have now. Okay. Like, let's say 10,000 followers or less. And my content would do so well, like thousands of likes, so many comments, so much engagement. And now it's just terrible. Like, it is so hard to get that type of level of engagement. And I just can't be bothered to work so hard for a platform that doesn't really give back to its creators. Yeah, this is like such a side tangent, and it's only for people who really understand content creation or have a business where they're trying to use social media to boost their business. Like, there's such a difference. Like, TikTok is great for reaching people who aren't your current followers, whereas Instagram is kind of designed to reach the people who currently follow you. So when I post on TikTok, like, so much of the content does so well, and the amount of effort that you have to put in is a fraction of it. Like, the captions are a sentence long. The videos are 5 seconds, 10 seconds long, or a minute long, right? Like, they can be. And it's just such a different way of thinking about it. And what was really interesting is actually when I was doing my roundup of products for my gift guide this year, and I went to post about it on TikTok and I went to go tag all the companies in it, there was, out of 16 companies, 7 were on TikTok. And I was so shocked because some of the biggest companies, like people like Prolon, for example, who you would think, yeah, they're 100% going to be on TikTok, aren't on there. And in my mind, now we're going into 2024 in a few weeks. If you're not on TikTok, what are you doing? Now, like, now's the time, but also the time was 3 years ago. But, sooner the better. I don't think that, if you're listening to this, I don't think brands understand the power of TikTok. TikTok has caused me to buy more products than Instagram has. 100%. And I was explaining this to a brand the other day who I'm working with. there's something so powerful about TikTok where there will be somebody who will sit down and do a review of the product and be like, hey, I bought this because I really liked X, Y, and Z. Okay, let me show you how I use it. This is what I like. These are the cons, but yeah, I still think it's worth it. You should go get it. And then you're like, great, go and buy it. The amount of things I bought from TikTok is so powerful, is so much more than Instagram, easily. Now, I will say that it's different now. I think that brands have to be on Instagram. I think you have to have a strong presence. I think you have to have a decent following. You have to have content on there. It has to look like you understand social media and you understand your audience, and it establishes you within the industry that you're in, and it establishes you against other competitors. However, it's the TikTok content that is actually more so making the sales and more so relatable and authentic. So you kind of do need both. And when I talk to my friends who started new businesses, especially people, if you have a physical product, especially those people, I tell them you need to be on TikTok and you have to be on Instagram, but it's different. The content looks different. So for example, when I go to buy something, especially right now when I'm, buying things for the holidays, or I'm researching maybe I'm looking at getting like a PEMF mat, for example. I don't have one. I know it's a big biohack. I know everyone talks about it. I don't have one. And I was like, okay, let me take a look at what everyone's buying. So I can go onto TikTok and search PEMF mat, look at the reviews and be like, oh, this girl said this about this one. And this one actually has low EMF and this one has red light therapy in it. And I can see all of the different aspects of it. And then if I go to Instagram, I can see beautiful photos of the products. I can see how established they are. How many followers do they have? How many posts have they done? It's almost like this validation to the brand, I would say, whereas TikTok is like kind of the icing on the cake that makes me buy the product. So if you're listening, this is such a random rant that I'm on, but this is the business world that I'm in. I will also meet with anybody who wants to talk about this because I'm happy to help and help with content if you need it. But I'm happy to also just share my 2 cents, whatever 2 cents I have. But that's how I kind of view things. And I will always research a brand on Instagram before I buy it, 100% of the time. There is not a single thing that I will buy without taking a look at their Instagram account. Unless the price point is something really cheap, like say it's something off of Amazon, or say it's like a common good, like a toothbrush or something like that, then yeah, I won't. But if we're looking at something like PEMF mats, you better believe that I'm 100% looking at your brand on Instagram and assessing if I think you're worth my money, 100%. All right. I know that so many of us struggle with our hormones. We have a lot of confusion around our menstrual cycles, ovulation, having our periods, regulating it, and really just minimizing the symptoms that we often deal with. I have been there. I've had a mild PCOS diagnosis. I have had irregular cycles since I've been off birth control. I've had a ovarian cyst. And honestly, I've been through a lot when it comes to hormones in the last few years. So out of that, I really taught myself about cycle syncing. And this is the idea that during different phases of the cycle, we are doing different things. We are eating different foods, taking different supplements, or drinking different teas for the nutrients, exercising differently in response to where our hormones are at that time. And through living in this ebb and flow of our cycle, we can actually feel better. We can look better. Our hormones are happier. We're mentally better. We can sleep better. And this is exactly what I found. So I took everything that I did, I put it into an easy peasy guide for you. It's called the Ebb and Flow Cycle Guide. It's on my website. Go and grab it right now. This is literally going to solve all of your hormone issues. I'm not kidding. It's so good. And it's so easy to read as well. I also added in a part about seed cycling because I know so many of you are interested in seed cycling as well. So that means, what seeds do we take during which phase of the cycle? These seeds have different phytonutrients in it that can help with the different hormones during the different phases. And I've also included over 30 recipes that are super tasty as a bonus. So these recipes are designed for the different phases. So you can have certain ones during your period, during ovulation, and things like that. And of course, I included biohacks. I included which biohacks to do around ovulation to optimize that, how to optimize your menstrual cycle or your menstruation during your period, and everything like that. Everything from castor oil packs to acupuncture to red light therapy to healing baths that I love. That is what I did. So this is my ebb and flow cycle guide. You can grab it on my website right now, biohackingbrittany.com. Go for it. And I hope you really enjoy it. There's been over 500 that have been bought already, which is so amazing to see. And I'm just so thankful that I get to help women with their hormones and on their health journey. Instagram kind of sucks right now. That's my takeaway from this. However, it's still needed and necessary in the world that we live in. However, I think TikTok is the factor that converts audiences into consumers, and it is needed. And to the 9 brands who I mentioned, well, I didn't tell you who you were, but the brands who were not on TikTok on my last list that I did, you need to get your butts on TikTok, please. And even if you start with just reposting Instagram content to TikTok, that is better than nothing. Okay. That is better than nothing. There's actually software out there. It's called repurpose.io. And it is software that automatically posts your content to different platforms. So for example, I have it set up that everything gets posted to Pinterest and YouTube and Facebook for some of them. But you can also do it from Instagram to TikTok. However, I think it automatically saves it as drafts. And I think you do have to click publish on TikTok. However, it's still better than nothing. And I set it up to Pinterest, YouTube, and Facebook because I don't really use those platforms. However, I still want to build a community as much as I can everywhere I am. And so it's really easy. So that's repurpose.io. It's a website, very straightforward to use, very easy. And I recommend it to everybody. And you can do all sorts, like any direction you can go in, you can repurpose. And you can also repurpose and download everything to a Google Drive folder, which I also do. So sometimes I have to send videos to people. I'll do something like that. And it removes the watermarks from TikTok and everywhere. So that's my random business rant for you today. And on a side note, other than that, I am opening up my practice to work with clients one-on-one again next week. So exciting. So if you go to my website right now, you will see on the Work With Me page, it takes you to a freebie page, I guess, where you can win a one-on-one consultation with me, specializing in women's health. So it could be PCOS, endometriosis, trying to conceive, preconception health, fertility, irregular periods, cysts, menopause, painful periods, whatever. You can win a one-on-one consultation with me. So if you want to do that, go for it. It's free. But I'm also opening my practice again to work with clients in a obviously paid capacity. So this will be specialized in that scope, in that women's health space. I will not be taking on any male clients at this time. And it's solely to focus on women's biohacking and optimizing women's health. So if you want to work together, we can do that. It's going to be very simple. I'm not doing monthly consult deals, all this garbage. No. We will do a one-on-one initial consultation and we'll do half an hour follow-ups. Very straightforward. I don't like when practitioners have things that are a little too complicated. I think there should be an initial consult and a follow-up personally. So you can definitely do that. And I will support you through your health. And I work with anybody in the world. So my entire business is online. I work with a lot of people in the States, but I'm in Canada. I've also, when I was seeing clients for a while, I had clients in the UK, had someone in New Zealand. It doesn't really matter. We'll find a time. We'll hop on a Zoom. We'll figure it out. And the way that I typically work with clients is like I'm kind of saying here, I meet with you for an hour. We go through everything about you and your health, and you get to ask me a bunch of questions. I ask you a bunch of questions. And then I will create a meal plan for you and supplement suggestions with links and why, and also biohacking suggestions and lifestyle suggestions and that type of thing. And that's kind of what it is. It's very holistic based. And it's not just like, hey, avoid gluten and dairy and your cysts are going to go away. It's a lot of like, let's get some tests done and like, let's take a look at your inflammation markers and how do we reduce inflammation that's causing these cysts? And, how's your stress levels and stuff like that. So very comprehensive, very holistic in nature. And that is opening up next week. That will actually might even be before next week. So let's say December, I don't know, 8th, 9th, maybe 10th, something like that. It'll be open up. So looking forward to that. And today's episode is all about wellness in December. This is the last month of the year. We're going to get into it. But before we do, a shout out to Inside Tracker, who is actually one of the brands that I have my clients get tested with. So this is an at-home test, or you can go into a lab and get it done. It's only in Canada and the States. And basically they take a look at all of the different biomarkers in your blood, like your minerals, your vitamins, your hormones, and give you recommendations based on your results. So that means they'll say, okay, your inflammation is high. Like they take a look at your CRP and they say your inflammation is high. This is where it should be for someone your sex and your age. These are the recommendations I would give you. So there's stuff like that, which is phenomenal. They have an app, and then they also have a bunch of hormones dedicated to women, which they just brought in this year, which I really love. So they do estradiol, progesterone. They also do testosterone. They do cortisol. They do DHEA, which is really important, and some other things like that. So that's Inside Tracker. You can use my discount code biohackingbrittany. That will save you. And a shout out to AG1, one of the biggest brands in the wellness space right now. If you are not going to take a bunch of supplements and you just want to take one thing, that would be AG1. There are 75 different minerals, vitamins in this powder. And it's really, really good. So you just add it to your water, add a scoop, drink it, and you feel nourished right away. I love taking it. I love the taste of it, honestly. Like, I don't have a problem with the taste of it. I think it's really good. I think it's a very comprehensive formula. And I can see why a lot of people like it, because it's kind of like an insurance policy, right? So if you're not taking anything else, take AG1 and you're covered. Makes sense. If you use my discount code, they send you a year supply of vitamin D3 and K2, which is pretty substantial. So Biohacking Brittany as well, linked on my shop and in my show notes. And let's get into today's episode. All right. So let's explore December wellness strategies with some biohacks added in to really help us thrive this holiday and festive season. I wanted to give you some things that I think are particularly helpful for December, some things that I'm doing, and just some things that could really elevate this time when we're slowing down at work. Maybe it is a little more hectic, depends on your job. And we tend to have a lot on our plates. Like, a lot of us travel to see different family and friends. Sometimes we have more financial stress at this time of year because we're spending more on travel and gifts for other people and decorations and all sorts of things. And sometimes a lot of us get sick because we're kind of stretched too thin, right? So there's a ton of holiday parties. Maybe we're drinking more. Maybe we're eating more food that we typically don't eat. So there is quite a change in lifestyle that comes with December. And I think there's a lot we can kind of do to mitigate the negative effects of that. So first and foremost, some of these are easier. Some of these are more specific. First and foremost, listen to some relaxing holiday music. Okay, so I have a Spotify account just like everybody, and I love listening to playlists that are kind of like cozy Christmas jazz. or fireplace instrumental holiday music, whatever it is, but very relaxing music. And this is what I listen to during my work day. I find it actually makes me happy, like releases, all the happy hormones and happy chemicals and feels really good. And I also put this on when I'm doing tasks that are annoying or hard or stressful. So, say I'm like cleaning the house or cleaning the dog or whatever it is. And you don't, it's more of a chore and you don't want to do it. Putting on this type of music is actually really nice. It makes me feel more festive and happier and calmer. So that's why I like doing this. It's just really great for reducing stress and inducing relaxation. A biohacker tip for this would be to opt for music with a rhythm that mimics the human heartbeat. This can help synchronize your breathing and your heart rate, promoting a deeper sense of calm. I love that. And you can also take a look at binaural beats. So if you go again on Spotify or YouTube, there are plenty of playlists for binaural beats. And so binaural beats are basically use different sound wavelength to help induce different states in your body, I guess, to mimic the different brain waves that are going on for that state. So for example, you can listen to delta brain waves or sound waves or alpha or beta, and there's different ones that are associated with different things. So when you look up binaural beats, it'll say like binaural beats for sleep, binaural beats for relaxation, stress reduction, for feeling happier. Like there's a bunch of different ones. And so that's kind of also what I do is what I listen to, and it makes me feel calmer. A tip that goes along with that is that you want to ideally listen to binaural beats through headphones. So there's something about, again, this is kind of beyond my scope of what I know, but there's something about how that music is created that it does better when it's split into two headphones. So if I'm taking a hot bath, I will actually, it's probably maybe not the safest thing, but I will put headphones in and I will listen to binaural beats through that method. Or another great time is like walking the dog or going for a walk is like listening through headphones. It's a good idea. I guess you could do it at your desk as well with headphones. Basically, anytime you have headphones, it's much better and more effective in what it does. Okay, the next one is embrace a humidifier. My goodness. So obviously, for most people, winter comes, not most people in the Northern Hemisphere, winter comes with drier air. And this is because we have our heaters on in our house and the heat kind of zaps out and gets rid of the moisture, which then leads to drier air. And this leads to drier skin, drier hair. You can feel it in your hands. You can feel it on your hair. You can feel it on your face. And everything just doesn't have as much moisture in it, unfortunately. So you can use something like a humidifier, which adds moisture to the air. You like put water into it and it, fills the air with moisture. And this is really great for increasing that moisture level and helping with dryness all around, especially for people as well who could have things like asthma or be sick or anything where the dryness is almost triggering to their throat or nasal canal and they kind of need more moisture. So that can help. Like, for example, my husband has asthma. He sneezes a lot in the morning. And so the humidifier actually helps a lot for him, kind of helps to reduce that. So that is what I would recommend. And there are a bunch of different things you can add to it. So the biohacker tip for this is to actually add essential oils to your water. So you can experiment with different essential oil blends to create a personalized atmosphere conducive to relaxation or focus depending on your needs. I love essential oils. I kind of go through phases of using them, but this is a really, really great idea. So you could add things like spearmint or peppermint. You could do more of like an orange one. Like, I don't know. There's so many different essential oil blends out there. I would experiment with something like that and see how you go. Personally, I would put a humidifier in your bedroom because I think it's really helpful for sleep. And I think it's just really smart for sleep to do it. But if you work from home, you could also put it in your office. Might be a little noisy, but that also could be helpful. Are you tired of generic health advice that doesn't take your unique needs into account? Do you want to gain a deeper understanding of your health beyond the surface level recommendations? I want to talk to you about Inside Tracker's ultimate plan, the answer to your personalized health questions. With comprehensive blood biomarker analysis, it provides tailored insights into your body's needs. The ultimate plan tests up to 48 different blood biomarkers, including ApoB, cholesterol, glucose, magnesium, cortisol, vitamin D, and insulin. This comprehensive analysis extends your lifespan or health span and guides you to a longer and healthier life. Inside Tracker goes beyond generic clinically normal ranges to unveil your body's unique optimal biomarker zones, revealing where you're optimized and where your improvements can be made. They have science-backed recommendations on nutrition, fitness, and lifestyle, and are all personalized to your body's data, helping you reach optimal biomarker zones and achieve your wellness goals. Now with insulin testing included, you'll have the key to sustained energy and an early warning system for chronic diseases. This is actually really important. High insulin levels can increase the risk of conditions like heart disease, Alzheimer's, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and more. Inside Tracker's measurements and recommendations can help you maintain healthy insulin levels. So, are you ready to control your health in a new and personalized way? This is the test that I do every few months, and I am obsessed with it. And I change my healthy habits and my nutrition and my supplements based off of this data. You can go to insidetracker.com/biohacking with Brittany, and you will get 20% off. You can use my discount code biohackingbrittany. It's linked on my website and linked in the show notes. So definitely check that out if you want to do an at-home blood biomarker test that looks at over 48 different biomarkers for you so that you can start optimizing your health today. The next tip is experiment with healthy holiday recipes. This is probably my favorite tip. I am a baker. I am not a cook. I can cook. Okay. My cooking is average, but my baking is phenomenal. Now, I don't know why that is. Someone once told me, or maybe I read this quote. This quote basically said that cooking is an art and baking is a science. And so I think that's why I'm better at baking is like, it's very much like, hey, here's this recipe, follow it exactly. And chances are your baked good will turn out pretty well. Obviously, there's some things you can't control, like the humidity in the air, as we're talking about that, or where you live and how that impacts things, and also the type of oven and stuff like that. But most of the time, things like kind of end up well. But for cooking, for me, like I'm average at it, and I am so happy to admit that. I don't care. I don't care. So when I say experiment with healthy holiday recipes, it could be cooking, absolutely, but it could also be baking. And I love doing this. I love searching things like paleo gingerbread house recipe, paleo cranberry bars recipe, whatever it is. I don't know. And trying to make it and trying to make something that's like tastes as good as a normal one, but is healthier. And I almost always do paleo. Sometimes I'll just do like gluten-free, sugar-free type of thing. But paleo for me, paleo kind of covers everything that I'd want to remove. So that's why I go with paleo. And there's so many recipes online that it's so easy now. So you can really like tweak healthy holiday recipes to be healthier. And I really encourage you to do that. I really do. Like you can have a healthy stuffing that is gluten and grain free, right? And it can taste like turkey stuffing, but it doesn't have the bomb of like inflammation and glucose spike that comes with eating bread soaked in butter and herbs, right? Now, again, there's a time and place and balance is everything, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying there are ways to make healthier alternatives. And I really encourage you to just experiment. Give it a go. Why not? So you can upgrade your holiday recipes. And then you can also include biohacker ingredients, let's say. So for example, turmeric, super great, super potent anti-inflammatory spice. You could add this to soups. You could add it to roasted vegetables. And it not only boosts the flavor, but it also has a bunch of health benefits. You could also add adaptogenic herbs like holy basil or maca powder to your holiday baking for an extra health boost and stress management support. A little tip about maca. Maca is actually really great for libido. So if you want to get things going over the holidays with your significant other, maca is really great for that. So you could add that, and you could probably add maca to like brownies, to be honest. I don't think it has like a distinct taste too much, so you could probably get away with it. But yeah, adaptogens in general are great because obviously they kind of level out our hormones, which we all need. Next, let's manage our caffeine intake for some stress reduction. So to balance your energy levels without relying solely on caffeine, try incorporating biohack adaptogens like ginseng or cordyceps into your routine. These natural supplements can help improve endurance, reduce fatigue, and support overall well-being. So there's a bunch of brands out there that do this. There's a bunch of brands that have like lion's mane or reishi mushrooms, which are great for cognitive and relaxation promoting effects and work as a coffee alternative. I think the main one that everyone has is Force Sigmatic. And there's a bunch of other ones as well, but that is probably the most popular one. But I would really look at reducing caffeine during this time. I think holidays can be stressful for a lot of people, especially a lot of moms out there. I think moms in general do a lot, right? Like they show up for their kids, they get the gifts, they wrap the gifts, they put the holiday decorations out. They are also probably working. They are taking care of their husbands and like, or if they have a husband, if their partners, whatever. Like I think there's a lot of, from what I've seen with my own mother and my mom friends, there's a lot on their plate to make this time special for everybody around them and not necessarily themselves. And that kind of makes me sad. So when I think about that, I think, okay, how can we reduce stress? And the idea is in our society is, hey, let's have more coffee. Oh, I need my coffee. Oh, got to get up, got to do all these things. Oh, I need another cup. I need another cup. Oh my gosh, guy, like, no way, don't take it away from me. It's like, it's what I need. And then it goes to wine, right? And there's like that time between like, it switches to wine to get through the day. And it makes me sad that that's kind of what we're seeing. And so I encourage the people out there who are like, how do we get energy without having the crash of caffeine, having the addiction of it, and the negative side effects of it? So like I said, there are things that you can take that can be helpful. Cordyceps, mushroom blends, ginseng is great. You can also take something like Timeline Nutrition. They have energy supplements. This is not sponsored, but they have energy supplements that are clinically proven to enhance energy all day. That's what I personally take because I have significantly decreased my caffeine. Right now, I'm probably doing 50 milligrams a day. So I'm either doing 1 or 2 cups of half calf, or I'm doing decaf or nothing. So it's like minimal what I'm having these days. But I also have things like Timeline Nutrition's Mitopure powder, which creates energy in the body. So I have something else that's helping. But there's a lot you can do. And I just really encourage you to try to take a step back from caffeine if you feel like you're super reliant on it, and ask yourself why and what can you do instead. Okay, next. Yeah, a lot of these are about relaxing, actually. Eh? Cozy up by the fireplace with a good book. I wish we had a fireplace so badly. I wish we had a roaring fireplace that I didn't have to attend and keep going because that's out of my scope. My husband likes to do that stuff. Thankfully, we all play our roles. Okay. Don't get mad at me. I'm not here to chop wood and build a fire. Absolutely not. I'm here to sit and enjoy the fire. And if you have a fireplace in your home, I'm so jealous of you. And so please enjoy it a lot this holiday season. Turn off the TV. I guess you could leave the TV on, but like just put it on, watch the flames, smell it, enjoy the relaxation that naturally comes from that. Actually, this is a really good question. Now that I'm thinking about this, I never thought about this. Does fire produce negative ions? I am so curious because that would make so much sense. Wait, I'm literally going to research this right now. Does fire produce, guys, this is just me live doing research on this episode. Does fire produce negative ions? You want to know why? Because negative ions are really great for relaxation. So places that we get negative ions is like when it's raining. So, when you go outside and after the rain is done, the air is kind of like charged and you feel good and fresh and like you have that kind of feeling. That's the negative ions. Negative ions are also present in water. So when you go to the ocean, when you go to rivers, when you go to a waterfall, that movement of water also has negative ions. So when you're walking on the beach, one of the reasons that you feel so relaxed and so good is because of the ton of negative ions that are created in the reaction of the water moving. So that is actually similar to how I feel when I'm in front of a live fire. So I'm wondering if, they create fires. Here we go. Let's see what this article says. Yeah, this says it. Sit in front of bonfire or hearth fires. They create negative ions too. Wow, that's all you really said about that, eh? It's not very helpful. Weird. Okay, I'm going to have to do more research into that because I'm super curious about that. But I think it does by the sounds of it and by the looks of it, just like burning the natural wood. So if you have a fireplace, please enjoy it for me. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much negative ions come from it or not. I think there's something really calming about it. And also if you're reading and you have candles and essential oil diffusers, I think in general, just creating this space in your home that is very calming is a very good idea. And adding things like candles are great because we're now stacking the biohacks, right? So you're reading a book, which is great for your brain and great for you to turn off and reduce stress. You're in front of a fire, which means there's negative ions. The actual watching of the flames is very calming for you and for the brain. If you have healthy scented candles, you can smell that and get the aroma benefits as well. Like there's so many things that you can do to create a healthy, warm, cozy space in your home. And I just really encourage you to do that. My next partner I want to talk about is Athletic Greens. So I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every single day. And I first gave AG1 a try when I was traveling to Costa Rica. I really wanted something to support my gut health, boost my energy, keep my immune system in check, and really just support me while I was traveling and not home. I quickly fell in love with it. And now that I'm back in Canada, I still take it every single day. And I take it in the morning before I have any type of coffee. Typically, it's like the first thing I have in the morning. And it makes me feel just fantastic. I feel like I'm starting my day off on the right foot. I feel like I'm covering all of my nutrition needs right from the get-go, which is super important and such a healthier way to start than just having coffee on an empty stomach right away. So I'm just obsessed with taking it. And if you want to take ownership of your health, today is a good time to start. Athletic Greens is giving you a free, 1 year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So those are the same travel packs that I took when I was flying. Go to athleticgreens.com/biohacking with Brittany. That's athleticgreens.com/biohacking with Brittany to check it out today. It's also linked in my show notes and on my website everywhere. And last but not least, this totally goes with it. Turn off the phone, turn off your emails, turn off the TV. Let's do a little bit of a digital detox this December. Unplug and unwind. Okay. During your digital detox, amplify relaxation with biohacks like incorporating mindfulness practices like meditation apps with like some guided sessions, anything to help reduce stress or improve sleep quality. Or you can do things like practicing grounding or earthing by stepping outside. And that in itself is a big practice, simple practice that helps reduce stress and restore balance. I really, really encourage you to do this. Take time to be offline. We are so addicted to being online. We're so addicted to our phones that when we actually are able to take time off and be present with the loved ones around us, maybe that's just your dog, maybe your cat, I don't know. Maybe it's your family, your friends. It's so important. You're never going to get this time back again. Your phone will always be there. Those emails, they're going to be there tomorrow. Instagram, TikTok is going to be there tomorrow. Nothing is on fire. There's nothing for you to do. Enjoy this time, especially if you're taking time off work and you're saying, hey guys, I'm taking a week off. Sayonara. Please actually take that time off. Close your laptop, close your computer, delete your work email off your phone and enjoy this time. We are so bombarded with notifications all of the time. It is so bad for us. And I really just encourage you to create boundaries in your life so that you are not overstressed and over bombarded. I took my work email off my phone in October, and it is the best thing I have done all year because I realized, and I talked about this on a previous podcast, I was very stressed from April to September in a not great way. And I was not in a good place mentally. And you can hear it when I talk on my podcast. You can hear it. And I had this realization when I was in California in October. And I thought to myself, there are never any emergencies in my work. I'm not a heart surgeon. No one will lose a life if I don't email them back. Why am I on vacation checking my email? Actually though, nothing is going to happen. This person, if I email them tomorrow or next week, we're going to have the same conversation. If they think, wow, Brittany's taking so long to get back to me, that's fine. That's on them. I don't care. My business is successful enough that I don't need that. It doesn't really matter to me at this point. My mental health is more important. And same with DMs, same with comments. If I don't reply to people right away, again, I'm not going to overwork and bombard myself because my mental health is more important. So when I had that realization in October, took my work email off my phone, and immediately I felt a weight lift off of me. There was no more checking this. Oh, this email came in Saturday morning, looking at my work emails. It was just getting out of hand. It was really bad. And it's bad when you're on vacation and you're constantly checking your work email. That's when it's bad. Now, mind you, there is a time and place when maybe you're in a launch of a new product. Maybe you're putting out a new course. Maybe you're waiting for a client to get back to you. And something is high status and very important for sure. There are those times in business and I completely understand that. However, I'm not in that time right now in my business. And so that just needed to not happen anymore. And so that's why I encourage you this holiday season, please take time away from work and prioritize your mental health, especially if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling depressed with the holidays. This is only going to make you feel better. And get off social media. As much as I want you to consume content / my content, it doesn't matter because your mental health is more important and I want you to feel better. Okay. I want you to feel happier. And the doom scrolling, when you're scrolling for an hour and you're like, oh, where did that hour go? So bad. So please take time off. So I hope you enjoyed this little list that I created of things. If you have anything you want to add to it, send me a DM on Instagram and I'll reply to you at some point. And enjoy this season of family friends and love and self-care, ultimately self-care and biohacking, of course. I will catch you next week for another episode. Thanks for listening to another episode of Biohacking with Brittany. If you're interested in finding the show notes or the sponsors for this episode, you can do so on my website, which is biohackingbrittany.com. Remember to follow me on Instagram, where I'm most active. My handle is @biohackingbrittany. And if you're interested in working together and you want to email me directly, you can do that. My email is info@biohackingbrittany.com. And I look forward to hearing from you and having you tune in next week.